Dr. Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, President of the United Republic of Tanzania, CPTM Fellow, Global 2013 host, patron and advisor. Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government present here today, Vice Presidents, Your Excellencies, representatives of Heads of State and Government present here today, Your Excellencies, former Heads of State and Government present here today, Your Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Garib Bilal, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, CPTM Fellows, Dr. Mihaela Smith, Chief Executive Officer of CPTM, Smart Partnership Movement, and co-convener of the Global 2013 Dialogue, Ambassador Ombeni Sefue, Chief Secretary, President's Office, and co-convener of Global 2013 Dialogue, Honorable Ministers and Members of Parliament, participants and guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome you all, distinguished guests, to the official opening of the Smart Partners Global 2013 Dialogue. It also gives me great pleasure to welcome you to our beautiful country and to the city of Dar es Salaam, the most peaceful hub, which over the next 3 days becomes home to the Global 2013 Dialogue. When groups of people come together in dialogue, agreements are reached and important partnerships are formed. The Smart Partnership Dialogue was introduced in 1995 in Langkawi, Malaysia, and is the brainchild of the former Malaysian Prime Minister, His Excellency Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad. The movement has come a long way since then, and as we rise to the challenges of socioeconomic growth, we acknowledge that the journey continues, but we will get there. We believe that we will get there with all our efforts put together. Now, without preempting the agenda, I would now like to welcome you to a wonderful piece of entertainment that we have prepared for you all this evening. And we will dim the lights. And the entertainment is entitled Hello Tanzania. If we could dim the lights, please, for the entertainment.
Na mtazamaji, ni burudani hiyo, na tunaambiwa kwamba taa basi zipunguzwe mwanga kidogo kwa ajili ya burudani hiyo. Tupate burudani hiyo kwanza.
Welcome to Hello Tanzania. This performance encapsulates the pride that we Tanzanians have in our country. The decades that we have been blessed with peace as we live in harmony with our neighboring countries, and the performers themselves represent where we have come from and where we are going. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Tanzania Meet House of Talent. Hello Tanzania, karibuni sana.
Nanyosha mikono yangu juu, naisifu nchi yangu maarufu. Nanyosha mikono yangu juu, naisifu nchi yangu maarufu. Hello, hello Tanzania. Hello, hello upendo wa kweli. Mapenzi ya dhati. Tuimbe, 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 tuimbe.
sitakuwepo kesho, yote nilofanya kwa taifa langu yatachipua na kuonekana tena. Naisikia moyoni raha ya upendo huu iliyonizunguka kwa ndani ya moyo wangu, kwa sababu bendera itaendelea kupepea kwa uhuru, kwa sababu bendera itaendelea kupepea kwa uhuru. Undugu na umoja wetu ni mikono iliyotushika, inatuongezea thamani kwa majirani waliotuzunguka.
Naisikia rohoni raha ya upendo huu,
kwa sababu bendera itaendelea kupepea kwa uhuru,
kwa sababu bendera itaendelea kupepea kwa
is my land, my home, my mother, where greatness is born, where the first man learned how to hunt and gather, use sticks and stones to separate meat from the bones, where the first fire sparked, where Bibi taught the young girls how to preserve food without a refrigerator, learned how to use cow dung and the sun rays as electricity generator, where leaves and roots aren't just used for food, but cure and remedies. Africa heals the body and soul through her hospitality. She feeds all the children of the earth with so much more than maize and flour, but with love and humility. She opens her gates to endless possibilities. She nourishes my soul with richness stored deep within her core. She melts me with the fire of her love, which her love abhors. Where Kilimanjaro stands and the Kalahari spreads, Africa is not poor, not black, not lost or in lack. For her people wake before the sun rises from the east, and throughout the day they feast. Through struggle and birth pain, she has given birth to the wisdom of forgiveness through Nelson Mandela, Uhuru and Umoja, through Mwalimu Nyerere Serra. I am Africa, the strength of the elephant's tusk, the roar made by the wild beast, the beauty of the Egyptian pyramids, the great waters that engulf us on the east and on the west, the kind hearts of the people. We bless you, Mama Africa. God bless you, Mama Africa.
Yeah.
Thank you. These are children of St. Mary's School. Hello, Tanzania. Let's clap for this performance one more time.
Na mtazamaji wa TBC1, kama ulivyoona burudani nzuri kabisa hiyo, Hello Tanzania, ikiwa ina ujumbe.
From our children, that's the future of Tanzania, the future of Africa. Following that wonderful performance, we'll go swiftly to our next presentation, which will be a video presentation. There'll be 3 video presentations, one after the other. The first one encapsulates Tanzania's tourism and nature, and that is titled Karibu Tanzania. And the second one encapsulates Tanzania's and technology, meaning our own smart partners participating in that video. And finally, we showcase the smart partnership journey. Karibuni sana. If we may please dim the lights, thank you. And I hope you enjoy the presentations.
Welcome to Tanzania, the land of Mountain Kilimanjaro, Serengeti, and Zanzibar. Karibu. Enjoy your stay in Tanzania.
Thank you. That was a presentation of Karibu Tanzania video encapsulating Tanzania's tourism and nature.
Are key drivers of economic development. Empirical evidence shows that the application of technologies in developing countries has brought about major socio-economic transformation. Cases in point include the 4 Asian tigers, that is South Korea, Malaysia, Singapore and Taiwan, and the Asian giants of Japan and China. Understanding this instrumental role of technology, the 2013 Smart Partnership Dialogue has adopted the theme of leveraging science and technology for socio-economic development.
With the advancements which are happening in the world presently, there was a need to bring in other sectors so that they could actually benefit from the advancement of science and technology, and also address social and economic issues which are pertaining throughout the world today.
In Tanzania, science has played a major contribution in our economic development. Some of the important contributions are improvement of the overall productivity by instituting structural changes in the models and methods of production, which have led to greater efficiency and innovativeness in economic activities.
The difference between Tanzania and other countries, in particular those industrialized countries, is mainly on the technology. That's the main difference. And we are proud to have our natural resources. We have lots of discussion on gas, but we didn't know that we had gas. We're discussing about mining. We didn't know that we had mining many, many years ago. But the question is, you need to have knowledge and technology in order to add value. First, to identify your resources you have, but also exploit that for your own benefit.
Technology, on the other hand, has also been able to boost exports by improving the quality of products, reducing the cost of production, improvement of food security by supplying technical information to agri-producers and providing reliable markets for their products.
So 60% of the food we consume here is produced through the seeds that our research institutes have developed.
In Tanzania, science and technology has impacted the health sector remarkably. Malaria, for instance, was a killer disease in the early 80s, but through scientific research, death caused by malaria has been tremendously decreased.
By 2008, they started manufacturing Orisset nets in Africa, and the first was in Tanzania. Another factory followed up only a year or two ago in Nigeria. So this was a factory established in Arusha to manufacture these nets, which are the best anywhere in the world. Now, what has been the consequence? The consequence has been that this factory has expanded to the extent that they now manufacture around 30 million nets a year, which is about 50% of what the malaria world needs. This can be met by the factory in Arusha. That factory employs 7,000 people. So you have research leading to production, leading to social well-being, in that you have a factory now employing 7,000 people.
Science and technology should not only facilitate human capital development and knowledge generation, but it has to cut across the sectors, thus creating better livelihoods for the people.
We have to see how best can this technology be integrated all across the different programs, and not only remain in certain kind of programs like the malaria and TB and HIV, the top, but how can we also this be integrated into the human resource for health programs, the non-communicable disease programs, etc. So that it's a cross-cutting aspect in all health service delivery system.
Technology has various aspects. Data is another important component when discussing the future of technology. Tanzanians are not left behind in this, and in Africa, Tanzania is among 4 countries harboring the supercomputer, a computer with a very high processing capability used in research and particularly in data crunching.
The supercomputer as a technology can be leveraged by its capability to compute or visualize data which demand high capacity in that machine.
Another technology that is fast developing in Tanzania is nanotechnology. The technology is applied in energy and water purification.
The technology as such is a very important technology, not only here but worldwide. Now in Tanzania, it is very important in 2 big aspects. One in energy, and the other thing is in water purification.
While it is true that the science and technology sector is growing substantially in Africa, the sector still faces various challenges to be able to contribute fully to development.
For us to be able to reap the benefit of knowledge and technologies which are existing, we need to invest more in research, understanding our problems better. There is a very strong relationship between economic growth and investment in research and development. Unfortunately, in our countries which are poor, which we need more research, we are actually invest less.
As we can all agree, science and technology has a crucial and pivotal role to play in order for African economies to grow. Our governments need to demonstrate the political will to support the science and technology sector. More importantly, adopting a culture of ensuring technology is prioritized in all planning.
When you're poor, you cannot afford not to decide on the basis of evidence because the resources are very minimal, so you have to use them wisely. When you're rich, you can throw a dice because you have more resources. You can throw a dice again and make decisions. But for a poor country such as ours, it's extremely important that we make decisions on the basis of evidence, and evidence is developed through research.
The only way for African economies to transform is by strengthening scientific and technological capacities, which will reduce the dependence on natural resources and raw materials.
There's been a very important emphasis on science education. More teachers of math and science and technology are being developed in these teaching institutions. So that's one, the education. And obviously we are also in our country, we have developed some science and technology specific institutions. We have Nelson Mandela Institute of Science and Tech in Arusha, we have Mbeya University of Science and Technology, you have DIT. All these institutions were created, and we're putting more money in these institutions to be able to do research, to be able to develop scientists who can contribute to our country's development.
Dear Smart Partners, I believe you have seen the challenges and opportunities of leveraging technology for socio-economic transformation. Now, we welcome you to Tanzania to discuss solutions to all the challenges in the Smart Partnership way.
Na mtazamaji, kwa kifupi, hiyo ni presentation ya Karibu Tanzania, na jinsi ambavyo tumeona picha mbalimbali ambazo zimekuwa zikionyesha rasilimali ya Tanzania ikiwemo wanyama, tuendelee kuangalia presentation hizo. Mtazamaji, wakati mnaendelea kuangalia namna ambavyo nchi washiriki wa majadiliano haya, nikukumbushe kile ambacho kimeonyeshwa hapo kwa kifupi. Ni kwamba tunaelezwa kwamba Tanzania na nchi nyingine zilizoendelea kiuchumi, tofauti yake kubwa ni teknolojia, lakini tuna rasilimali za kutosha kabisa, na hata hivyo juhudi kubwa imeonekana katika kujikwamua katika mapinduzi ya teknolojia ambayo yanagusa sekta mbalimbali ikiwemo afya, elimu. Na Tanzania ni miongoni mwa nchi 4 ambazo inamiliki kompyuta ambayo ina uwezo mkubwa sana, ina uwezo wa kufanya mambo kwa ufanisi zaidi. Lakini changamoto kubwa ni kuwekeza zaidi katika tafiti na uwekezaji. Kwa kifupi, makala iliyopita ndio ikijaribu kuonesha hayo, lakini tuendelee kuangalia nchi washiriki na walipoweza unasema kukaribisha au kukaribisha majadala hii katika nchi zao na miji hiyo. Ni mwaka 2007 ndipo Langkawi ambapo ni Malaysia, mwaka 2008 Lusaka pale Zambia. Kama inavyoonekana katika screen kubwa kabisa mbele ya viongozi wetu, namuona Mheshimiwa Mkapa ametulia kabisa anatazama. Lakini Raya mwaka 2011, mwaka 2012 hajaambiwa, lakini mwaka 2013 ni hapa Dar es Salaam nchini Tanzania. Hayo ndio majadiliano ya ushirikiano kwa manufaa ya wote au Smart Partnership Dialogue.
Na mtazamaji wa TBC1, ukiwa unaendelea kuangalia katika screen ndogo ambazo ziko hapo, na washiriki wa majadiliano haya wakiendelea kuangalia mambo tofauti ambayo yamekuwa yakifanyika pia katika mikutano tofauti ambayo imepita, na umeona imefanyika katika miji mbalimbali ya nchi ambazo ni nchi wanachama, na kwa mara ya kwanza kabisa yanafanyika hapa jijini Dar es Salaam hapa nchini Tanzania, majadiliano hayo ambayo yalianza kufanyika huko Langkawi nchini Malaysia mwaka 1995. Lakini vile vile katika vitu ambavyo vimekuwa vikipita hapo, ukiona katika vipande vya presentation hapo kwenye screen ndogo ama kidogo hapo mbele, wamekuwa wakielezea namna mada kuu ya mkutano huu ambayo ni nafasi ya sayansi na teknolojia katika kuleta mapinduzi ya kijamii pamoja na kiuchumi, ama katika kuharakisha maendeleo ya kijamii na kiuchumi, kama ambavyo wazungumzaji tofauti ambao ni wadau au washiriki wa mkutano huu wamekuwa wakizungumza pamoja nasi. Tanzania kama mwenyeji imeweza kuonesha vitu tofauti na wataalamu wa mambo haya, sayansi na teknolojia, jinsi ambavyo wanazungumza kuhusiana na Tanzania, lakini tumeweza kuona pia jinsi gani Tanzania inakaribisha katika masuala ya kiutalii. Tumeona wanyama wetu ambao ndio mali asili ya hapa nyumbani Tanzania. Uliona katika kipande kimoja hapo cha screen ndogo katika TV, umeona simba wakikimbizana na nyumbu. Huo ndio utalii wa Tanzania, na hivyo ndivyo ambavyo Tanzania inakaribisha nchi wanachama katika mkutano huu mkubwa kabisa wa kimataifa wa majadiliano ya ushirikiano kwa manufaa ya wote au Smart Partnership Dialogue. Lakini serikali imetakiwa weka nguvu kabisa katika kuhamasisha nafasi ya sayansi na teknolojia ambayo ni muhimu sana. Awali tulikuwa tukizungumza na wageni na umeona jinsi walivyokuwa wakizungumzia vitu tofauti vinavyoweza kuharakisha huduma, na si kuharakisha huduma tu bali pia kuharakisha maendeleo na mapinduzi katika nafasi ya kiuchumi na kijamii. Endelea kutazama.
The gaps were there merely for you to reflect on what you just saw. So, okay. And without further ado, I would now like to welcome the Global 2013 co-conveners to introduce themselves. If we could please clap for them. They're the reason why we're here this evening.
I suppose we should have introduced the Master of Ceremony on behalf of all the SMART partners to the SMART partners. I'm a joint convener together with Ambassador Sefue Ombeni. I'm Mihaela, but I myself am only a node in a network, and the whole network, the whole Smart Partnership movement is here. So I do not represent Mihaela, I'm just a symbol of the whole Smart Partnership movement, for which today we are celebrating the 21st Smart Partnership Gathering.
Your Excellencies, and you heard, my name is Ombeni Sefue, and it was a great honor and continues to be a great honor for me to work with Mihaela Smith as joint conveners of Global 2013 and to work with the joint executive group. Thank you very much and enjoy the evening.
It's a pleasure to welcome all of you to the Global 2013 Smart Partners Dialogue in Dar es Salaam. I wish I could be there in person, but thankfully, smart technology has brought us together anyway. Thomas Jefferson believed that knowledge is the common property of mankind. Events like this one unite diverse groups of people to share and expand their precious resources. The knowledge explored here.
I'm sorry, Your Excellencies. I wanted to say something before that video, because from Langkawi 1995, from Malaysia to Africa, the Smart Partnership movement has grown from strength to strength. From its Commonwealth roots, it has grown to embrace non-Commonwealth countries. Global 2013 here in Dar es Salaam is a true manifestation of that, because we have many heads of state and representatives of heads of state from non-Commonwealth countries. We are honored to have so many heads of state and government from those countries, and we kindly ask them to spread the message about the Smart Partnership movement, its message and its spirit. Another illustration of the emerging global nature of the message and spirit of Smart Partnership is what we are about to see and hear, which is a message from the former President of the United States, Bill Clinton, who couldn't be with us here today, but has sent a message, and I'm honored to ask that the video be played. Thank you.
Na mtazamaji, Balozi Ombeni Sefue, katibu mkuu kiongozi, alichokuwa akijaribu kuzungumza hapo ni kwamba majadiliano haya yamekuwa kwa haraka, na kwa kweli ni hatua nzuri kwa sasa hivi kwa kuwa Tanzania imekuwa mwenyeji wa majadiliano haya, lakini mafanikio makubwa ambayo yametokana na Tanzania kuwa mwenyeji ni pamoja na wakirimu wageni kuweza kuja kwa wingi, hasa wanachama wa mjadala huu. Na kuna maneno ambayo amezungumza rais mstaafu wa Marekani Bill Clinton, ambao sasa tunamsubiri video yake ichezwe ili tuone hayo maneno ambayo ilianza kuchezwa, lakini kwa bahati mbaya imesimamishwa, na sasa tunaisubiri ili ipate kuchezwa.
Apologies for the delay. Apologies for the delay. If we could please get the video rolling, thank you.
Na tunaelezwa hapa kwamba muda si mrefu sana video hiyo itachezwa, na wameomba radhi kidogo kwa kuchelewa, lakini muda si mrefu video hiyo itachezwa. Maneno kutoka kwa rais mstaafu wa Marekani Bill Clinton, ambaye alifanya ziara hapa nchini mwaka 2000 kama mtazamaji unakumbuka vizuri. Tuendelea kusubiri hapa, na muda si mrefu tutaendelea na ratiba yetu. Nikumbukwe tu matangazo haya ni ya moja kwa moja popote pale ulipo. TBC kama inapatikana, na najua inapatikana kwa uwezo mkubwa wa coverage ya matangazo yetu, basi tutakuwa napata mikoa yote, hata kwa wale wanapitia DSTV basi tunatupata. Tunatangaza haya matangazo moja kwa moja kutoka jijini Dar es Salaam.
Smart partners, leaders who would want to become smart partners, like former President Clinton. And this proves actually that leveraging technology starts with leveraging technical skills, and maybe with leveraging and the only reason I'm allowed to say so is because we have been instructed by His Excellency, Host Patron, in his own smart way, which is not quite an instruction, but that for this official light evening where you had Hello Tanzania and a review of beautiful Tanzania, I should also do something which probably I shouldn't fill in the gap with, but as soon as technically they are ready, and they are ready, I will come back.
Huyo ni Dr. Michael Smith ambaye kujaribu kucheza ile video ya Bill Clinton. Hebu tuione.
It's a pleasure to welcome all of you to the Global 2013 Smart Partners Dialogue in Dar es Salaam. I wish I could be there in person, but thankfully, smart technology has brought us together anyway. Thomas Jefferson believed that knowledge is the common property of mankind. Events like this one unite diverse groups of people to share and expand their precious resources. The knowledge explored here potentially can impact the future of Africa, indeed the entire world. And while technology already has done so much to help us share knowledge and bring us closer together, it's important to remember that technology itself is not now and never will be a solution. With smart approaches to agribusiness, healthcare, and education, many African nations have shown how technology can be used to solve problems and save lives. The Smart Partnership movement has shown that a tailored use of technology and strategic partnerships can support development and create a smarter, cleaner, wealthier Africa, from which all of us will benefit. There are no limits to knowledge and no limits to what we can achieve when we work together in innovative ways. I hope you enjoy your time there and wish you all the best of luck in your pursuit of knowledge.
Your Excellencies, Smart Partners, as I was saying, to fill the gap somehow, was that His Excellency, our host, President Kikwete, has instructed the two of us to do a briefing for the heads of government and fellows. And the briefing has been moved just a few hours ago to this auditorium. So I must say, this is probably the smartest way to do a brief. I'm not very sure if I can do a brief of a brief now, but there are a few, if technical skill again applies, there are a few slides that will assist me. To just review in a nutshell where the Smart Partnership movement comes from, where Smart Partnership movement is now, what is in a nutshell the dialogue in Dar es Salaam will start tomorrow morning, and where do we go from here? Right at the beginning, there is a dual arrangement between, anyway, no, that's fine. Right from the beginning, about 2 years ago, in Putrajaya, when we had a most impressive showcase of One Malaysia towards Vision 2020, in the Smart Partnership way, we realized in the movement that going towards Dar es Salaam, one needs to emphasize how nations succeed rather than fail. So the first briefing that we did to His Excellency, our host patron, is to show him that there is something called why nations fail. And hopefully, by the time we reach in Dar es Salaam, we will be able, through limitless opportunities, the manifesto of Smart Partnership Movement, launched in Swakopmund by President Nkrumah at that time, will prove the point that there is a way to succeed rather than fail. Next, the Smart Partnership Movement started in 1995, and as you know, it grew up in a spiral in depth, and we are now in Dar es Salaam, and it is a very strong movement. The strength of the movement is measured through the links, the Smart Partners links. And there are Smart Partners links which come from different perspectives in each country, but also from within country in the Commonwealth and beyond. And that makes it a movement. But the movement wouldn't move unless it would address specific problems which individuals would like to be linked in a Smart Partnership way. And where we stand today, what is the power of Smart Partnership is this particular Smart Partnership framework. The Smart Partnership framework for nations to succeed, which is tested, evidence-based, with those people who are here, not from MIT and not from anywhere else, is based on an integration of quality and standards inclusivity, financial inclusivity, technology and innovation inclusivity for achieving national visions. In a nutshell, tomorrow and Sunday, the dialogue will be dealing with the leveraging technology for smart growth, for anchoring, uptaking, and leveraging technology, and what is the nature of technology. It will deal with inclusivity strategies, quality and standards, with inclusivity strategies for financial inclusion, and it will end up with making national systems work. This will be dealt with through dialogue sessions in a typical smart partnership mode, which is informal, including the way one dresses, to be relaxed because it is Saturday and Sunday, without any need for taking notes or attributing whatever one hears to anybody else, just a good discussion, a family large discussion. And it will be taking place in the famous Smart Partnership tent marquees, and we have two of them in front of this most modern building. The 4 dialogue sessions will be also supported by CPTM Fellows Heads of Government sessions, which are 2 of them. Tomorrow, a short lunch together with all the Smart Partners in the Smart Partners Marquee, followed by a Fellows Heads of Government session. And second one will be Sunday. Sunday, it will be at lunch, and immediately after that, about an hour or so, will be specifically dedicated to the way forward, including to a review of the Fellows' activities. This is how a picture of the marquee, except that, might look, and where all the Smart Partners will actually be interveners at round tables, and including the heads of government who will be mingling among the round tables at their will, exactly as, and even freer more, as Their Excellencies experienced with the Smart 29ers just before the official opening. In conclusion, in the words of His Excellency President Kikwete, the essence and the objective of this dialogue is about all the Smart Partners who are here, those who are not here and who are in fact watching this through streamlining of our own movement. His Excellency President Kikwete was saying that we are rising. You'll excuse me, Your Excellency, if I don't quite catch exactly what you said, but that was the spirit of it. We are rising to the challenges of transformation, the challenges Tanzania faces, Africa faces, all the emerging countries face. A strong science, technology, innovation base is emerging in Tanzania and elsewhere. There is a lot of work to be done, but we will get there. Getting money for technology, His Excellency told us in the last 2 years, is always a struggle. Now we have to anchor technology to sustain smart growth, not any growth, a smart growth. If we can't, we will be held accountable. We must run whilst others walk. Let's engage all our Smart Partnership Movement experience and equity towards Dar es Salaam, whom we hope will inspire us. The way forward in 2014 will obviously be reflected in the many activities that the Smart Partners are doing in a cooperative framework of the Smart Partnership Movement anchored by CPTM. And these are, Your Excellencies, about 120 activities at any point of time, from the Caribbean to Southeast Asia, in Africa and Mediterranean. It is an extraordinary achievement of the Smart Partnership Movement without any specific resources from anybody else except from within the movement. It is a unique achievement. And we hope that if we follow the the Archimedes laws, this is because we are at the leveraging technology of the scientists dialogue, we hope that we will be able to bring up to today the say, which is give us or give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world, a smarter world. So hopefully, Your Excellencies, tomorrow morning at 8:30, you will join our Smart Partnership Movement, all the dialogue resource group from Smart Partnership Movement, who are together with the Tanzanian Dialogue Resource Group, the core of the Smart Partners invitees, who are here present probably in about 600 or so number. The Dialogue Resource Group are about 100 or so, and they've been working very hard to try to develop the dynamics of the dialogue, which will allow everybody to feel informal and free to ask any questions about one's problem. So we would like, on behalf of Dialogue Resource Group and Ambassador Sefue and myself, to wish you an enjoyable Smart Partnership dialogue in Dar es Salaam.
Mtazamaji wa TBC1 ambaye amemaliza kuzungumza hapo ni Dr. Mihaela Smith, ambaye ni mmoja wa viongozi wenyeji katika mkutano huu wa kimataifa wa majadiliano ya ushirikiano kwa manufaa ya wote, yani Smart Partnership Dialogue, ambao unaongozwa na Rais Jakaya Kikwete, ambaye pia ni mwenyeji wa mkutano huu, mtazamaji wa TBC1. Lakini kwa kifupi tu ambacho kimezungumzwa ni kuhusiana na
But before I do that, on behalf of the President, I should like to recognize all the heads of state and government that accepted his invitation to this year's Smart Partnership International Dialogue in Dar es Salaam. We have the honor to have with us His Excellency Mahinda Rajapaksa, the President of Sri Lanka. We have in our presence His Excellency Ali Bongo Ondimba, President of Gabon. We are honored to have His Excellency Ikililu Duanin, President of the Comoros. The Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dato Sri Mohammed Najib bin Tun Haji Abdul Razak, has arrived in Dar es Salaam, but will join us hopefully during dinner. His Majesty King Mswati III of Swaziland is already in Dar es Salaam, and we expect him to join us at dinner. There are presidents who had accepted the invitation but couldn't make it at the last time, at the last moment, and others who are represented. And this include, we are still expecting His Excellency Blaise Compaoré, President of Burkina Faso. We are still expecting President Uhuru Kenyatta from Kenya. We are still expecting President Faure Esozima Gnasbe of Togo. President Salva Kiir of Southern Sudan couldn't make it, but he sent a minister to represent him. We have with us the Honorable Ponatsego Kedikilwe, Vice President of Botswana. We have with us Honorable Dr. Guy Scott, Vice President of Zambia. We have with us the Honorable Abdelmalik Selal, Prime Minister of Algeria. We have with us Honorable Marco Hausiku, Deputy Prime Minister of Namibia. We have with us Honorable Motejoa Metsing, Deputy Prime Minister of Lesotho, the Kingdom of Lesotho. We have with us a number of retired presidents and patrons, beginning with His Excellency Benjamin William Mkapa, His Excellency Joaquim Alberto Chissano from Mozambique, and we expect Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, former Prime Minister of Malaysia, to arrive any minute. We also hope that former President Jerry Rawlings of Ghana will make it. We also have with us Dr. Amos Sawyer, former President of the Interim Government of National Unity of Liberia. We have with us Honorable Ahusu Kouadio Janot, Minister of State in the Office of the President of Cote d'Ivoire. We have with us Honorable Barry Faure, Secretary of State, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Seychelles. We have with us Honorable Louis Pelembe, Minister of Science and Technology from Mozambique. We have with us Mr. Joseph Dion Ngute, Minister Delegate in charge of relations with the Commonwealth from the Cameroon. I do hope I haven't skipped anyone. Yeah, Mihaela was reminding me that President Museveni and Dr. Mahathir are already in town, as I have said. So hopefully they will be with us during dinner. And of course, we are most honored to have among us the First Lady of the United Republic of Tanzania, Madam Kikwete. Thank you, Mama, for joining us. And now it gives me great honor and privilege to invite the host patron, His Excellency Dr. Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, to give his opening remarks. Mr. President.
Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania ambaye ndiye mgeni rasmi sasa anasubiriwa ili kuweza kufanya ufunguzi wa mkutano huu mkubwa kabisa wa kimataifa wa majadiliano ya ushirikiano, mkutano wa kimataifa kwa manufaa ya wote.
I'm not sure if I mentioned the Honorable Arthur Mutambara, Professor Arthur Mutambara, Deputy Prime Minister of Zimbabwe representing President Mugabe. I'm sorry, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister.
Katibu Mkuu Kiongozi
Excellencies,
Balozi,
Heads of State and Government, retired presidents, fellows, Excellencies, ambassadors and high commissioners, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tanzania. Welcome to Dar es Salaam. Above all, welcome to the 2013 Smart Partnership Dialogue. Your presence here today clearly demonstrates the importance you attach to this all-important movement. Please feel at home, away from home. We'll try our best to make your stay and participation as comfortable as possible. Excellencies, smart partners, ladies and gentlemen, I can't find words good enough to thank the organizers for agreeing to my proposal that the theme for this year's dialogue be leveraging technology for Africa's socio-economic transformation, the Smart Partnership way. I consider this theme very opportune indeed, for nothing compares to the application of science and technology to enabling African nations to successfully overcome the development challenges we face. The importance of technology for the social economic transformation and development of human societies needs no emphasis. It is a matter of fact that those societies and nations which have succeeded in anchoring successfully science and technology in their development processes have attained higher levels of development than those which have not been so successful. It is the extent to which a nation leverages modern science and technology which distinguishes developed nations from developing, underdeveloped, and poor nations. Unfortunately, African nations are lagging far behind in this regard. That is why they form the bulk of underdeveloped and poor nations on this planet. Time has come for that to change. We must change this sad situation. This year's theme, therefore, serves to underscore the centrality of technology in the growth and development of nations and its people. It behoves us to take development of science and technology seriously and anchor it in our development visions, in our plans, and in our strategies. Let me mention emphatically here that undertaking development endeavors without leveraging science and technology may be, and indeed it is, an exercise in futility. Fortunately, many countries in Africa are aware of the fact that development of science and technology is an important prerequisite for sustainable socio-economic development. At national level, African governments have adopted policies and have taken measures to nurture and promote development of science and technology in their respective countries. Many regional and continental programs and frameworks designed to promote technology have been put in place by our respective regional economic group communities and the African Union Commission. This demonstrates the awareness and commitment of the political leadership in Africa to advance science and technology. However, African nations are yet to be successful enough in anchoring and leveraging modern science and technology. Still, many African nations have limited access and therefore limited use of modern science and technology. As a result, many development challenges remain unresolved or take longer to be resolved. Africa's growth potential remains underutilized or even unutilized at all. Many African nations and peoples do not have financial resources to access modern technology. The African farmer, for example, knows clearly well, or fairly well, that a tractor is far superior than the hand hoe he is continuously using in enabling him to increase his acreage and therefore increase productivity and production. It can assure him food security, but it can also assure him increased incomes and therefore lift him from abject poverty. He knows too well also that high-yielding seeds, fertilizers, pesticides and herbicides can do a lot to increase productivity in his farm. But unfortunately, he can't easily access these inputs. On the one hand, they may not be readily available where he lives. But poor as he is, he may not have the money to buy the inputs, because there is no reliable credit facilities available to the farmer to borrow and get these inputs. So the technology that can help the African farmer transform his life has eluded him. There are many similar examples and challenges in many sectors and fields where access to technology can make a huge difference. But governments and many people in Africa, unfortunately, cannot get access to. Getting access to technology remains a challenge because technology is not easily available in the first place. Technology is not homegrown. It has to be imported. And when available, it is not easily affordable to both governments and the people. So how to make technology available and affordable is a matter that I hope will be discussed seriously, and pertinent ways of overcoming the challenges will be sought during this dialogue. Africa cannot therefore continue to depend on imported technology. Africa has to find ways of building homegrown technology. There is therefore the critical issue of building local capacity for ownership and advancement of science and technology in Africa by African nations and by the people of Africa. How do we create our own technology base? How do we create our own knowledge base? How do we promote scientific innovation and discovery in Africa? Is a matter that we need to address during this dialogue. Obviously, it has to start with education. It has to start with the education system. First, we must ensure that all our young girls and boys have access to primary school education. We must also ensure that as many as possible get secondary and tertiary education. But more importantly, science education must be given top priority. We have to do everything possible to speedily overcome the challenges of acute shortage of science teachers in Africa, the acute shortage of science textbooks, the acute shortage of science laboratories and other teaching materials. Success in addressing these challenges will assure our country's success in the very first step of creating a critical mass of local scientists who will ultimately translate into giving Africa the capacity to leverage modern science and technology for our nation's growth and development. It will also help our nations to create an indigenous science and technology base, which is critical. Because there are instances that to get a particular scientific discovery or technology, you have to get the permission of the governments responsible, concerned. And if you're not a strategic partner for that case, they will simply say no. It is critical for us to be able to build our own local base. Besides this, we must promote and encourage innovations. We must, of necessity, invest more in research and development. Therefore, we must increase government and private sector budgetary allocations to research, to support research and innovations. We must also be able to support the innovators. I believe we can do it, and we must do it. And in supporting the innovators or promoting, I think we should also invest in our youth. At my age, investing in me I have very generous people. They always buy me new telephones. Now there is the Samsung S4, Samsung Galaxy S4. A few months ago, I changed from iPhone 4 to iPhone 5. Now they say, no. Now there is a new one. But I have these gadgets. I use them for getting calls or making calls and for sending messages. Beyond that, on the screens, there are so many beautiful icons there. But I only use the contact where I save the message, the names, to make calls, to receive messages and send messages. So, investing a lot in me. Well, I have to do something on Twitter from time to time. But I'm saying, again, it's the same thing, chatting. But there is so much that you can use with these gadgets. But my sons, however small they are, my children, they come and teach me. If you give him this gadget, after a few minutes, he'll just operate it. I'll need lessons from him for 3-4 days. So that's why I said, okay, fine. For us, teach us to be somehow to become technology savvy, but we should invest in our youth. This is their time. And if we invest in them, Africa has the future in scientific and technological development. Should invest in their education, science and technology education, but we should also invest in innovation, their innovation, and invest in them as innovators. Three, 4 years ago, we decided to increase money in scientific research and development. But one of the things that we embarked on is the incubators. These guys told me that there is something is called incubators. If I was not told what it is, I would have thought that someone taking eggs, putting them in an incubator, and after 21 days you get chicks. But these are different eggs altogether. It is investing in our young men and women. We've done that at the Commission of Science and Technology. Mr. Mulamula is here, Dr. Mshinda. So far they have succeeded in creating some prominent guys. Max, Max Malipo, where are you? Stand up. That young man, Max Malipo, who is gone beyond Tanzanian borders now, is a product of the investment we have done in that young man. Day one, where are you? Day one, another one. I think there are 3 already. So it is investments in young men like these ones that will proceed. The incubators is the way to go. This is the way to go. We have got to invest that. I'm sure in the next few years we will have a lot of these technologies that are now going to become homegrown because they have created innovations that are used in Tanzania and that they are used beyond Tanzania. Time has come to advance science and technology and anchor it properly for Africa's development endeavors. The economies of many African countries are doing better these days than they were many years back. So there is no reason why we should not do it. But even if we are not so rich, there is a Swahili saying, katapua unge wajihi. That if you want to beautify your face, and if it needs to cut a bit of the nose, do it. Then you become much more beautiful. All that this saying is saying actually is make some sacrifices. Be ready to make some sacrifices in order to make advancement in life. Even if we are poor nations, we should make sacrifices and invest in research, development, innovation in science and technology, it will pay dividends in the longer term. All that is required of us is to put in place robust national policies, as well as regional, continental frameworks to promote science, technology, and innovation in our continent. We should also make use of South-South cooperation to support Africa's endeavors. The truth of the matter is, where and when it may not be easy to get access to modern technology from the developed countries, some countries in the South can readily do that. We may not be able to buy the expensive drugs, but you can get the generics from India and save lives. So we can work with countries like India, Malaysia, China, and all these other developing countries, and be able to build and advance science and technology on the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, the Smart Partnership Dialogue can easily facilitate that. But we should also use our collective voice from this dialogue and of the many regional and global fora that we are members or we participate, to pitch for easing or removal of barriers to access to technology, barriers to transfer of technology from the developed world to the developing countries. In the long term, however, we must work towards building local technological base. One other way of making quick progress in this is to tap the experience and expertise of Africans in the diaspora, of people, all people of African origin in the diaspora, who happen to be in their hundreds of millions. We may not be able to reverse the brain drain anytime soon, but we can find ways to benefit from the knowledge these Africans and people of African descent who live abroad possess. Today, in one of the 29ers session, there was a young man, a Tanzanian, very young man. Uko wapi wewe? Hebu simama. Yeah, that one there. I think he was born there, but now he has been encouraged enough, he's come back. They've set up something on IT with his fellows. Now we are using that. From the diaspora, he's come back. We have a number of these guys. We have to look, identify them, encourage them to come back. Certainly they have something to offer. The diaspora could be one of our bases of a stepping board towards development of science and technology in Africa. But some of our people think they don't matter. Nasema si waliondoka wenyewe, wache na wakae huko huko tu. Wanataka kunufaika kote na kote. No, I was saying, and I know my fellow Tanzanians know that, there was a time we were discussing the issue of dual citizenship. To give dual citizenship to, let's discuss the issue of giving dual citizenship to our Tanzanians who are living abroad. Oh, negative, very negative reaction. So why? They left on their own. Now they want to take benefits from both. Hataka kufaidi huku na huku. Wakae huko huko. Leave them there. But I believe this is a group that we can really give access to, make use of that group. They can make a huge difference. Because some of them are highly pressed, some of them have gained a lot of competence, a lot of knowledge, which the people up there are benefiting. So we said, okay, fine, you remain there, but at least let's make use of the knowledge that we have acquired for the development of our respective countries. But we should also encourage the establishment of universities and the institutions of science and technology to train the human resource that we need for development. When Wolfensohn was president of the World Bank, President Mandela visited him. And in his discussions with him, he said, one of the contributions that you can make to assist fast development, growth and development in Africa is the establishment of science and technology institutions. Wolfensohn took up that, talked to the Africans in the World Bank. At that time, a Tanzanian lady was a vice president in the World Bank. And Ngozi of Nigeria were given the assignment. The matter was later discussed in the African Union. And there was a decision to establish 4 institutions. One in the West, one in the East, another one in the South, and another one in the North. The decision at the beginning was let the West and the Eastern institutions be the first ones to take off. Well, we tried to ask for support. We couldn't get. Then I took a decision that we are going to build that university ourselves. We have done it. We call it the Nelson Mandela Institute of Science and Technology. The Vice President, who is himself a nuclear scientist, is the Chancellor of that university. I visited them. A lot of innovation is going on. You'll be impressed with what these young men and women from this continent are actually doing. Very creative, very innovative, very practical solutions to the challenges that we are facing of our development in industry, in agriculture, in mining, in water, in electricity, you name it. But we need to build more and more of these institutions. Because at the beginning, when I came into office, and I was handed over this docket by Mzee Mkapa, and the history that it came from the World Bank, I thought the World Bank would give us money to build the institution. We approached them and said, no, we only gave ideas. Now that you have adopted those ideas, well, the construction is your business. But so far, so good. We have the institution. But I believe we have got to do more and more of this on the continent. I'm sure we'll have created a critical scientific and technological base. That's it. The institute is there, is for Africa. All African countries who are interested, send their young men and women there. They will be trained. The Nigerian one has already taken off. The Dar es Salaam one has taken off. We are waiting for the construction of the remaining 2 institutions. But why should they be 2? President Bongo can build another one in Gabon. for the Central African region. Let's just build as many as we can, because at the end of the day, it's an investment that will never go to waste. It's an investment that will help promote growth and development on our ground. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm aware that in the course of our meeting, we will discuss all these issues and chart the way forward that will ensure the continent invests more in science and technology. We will explore and clarify issues on how technology interacts with other inputs to impact on growth and development. We will share our experiences in acquiring, using, and developing technology in improving the quality of life of our societies and our peoples. In the process, we will build a network of development actors within our continent who are knowledgeable and committed in developing and using technology for improving the welfare of their countries on a sustainable basis. Ladies and gentlemen, in the coming 3 days, we'll have time to reflect our past, present, and future prospects on how to manage technology for our development. I'm sure we will do our best to come out with new ideas, innovative ideas to promote science and technology on the continent. Indeed, the future looks promising as the people of Africa will gain control over their destinies. This future is in the hands of science and technology, the mother of civilization, of arts, of science. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Welcome, and let's wish ourselves very successful deliberations. Thank you.
Na mtazamaji wa TBC1, mgeni rasmi.
Your Excellencies, in the Smart Partnership movement, we believe that smart transformation begins with a vision. And we thank you, Mr. President, for sharing your vision with us. Your vision in terms of investment we need to make in the youth of Africa, investments that we need to make in science, technology, and innovation, institutions and processes, and investment in the entrepreneurship of our youth who can take advantage of science and technology. And now you will forgive me, I skipped one of our guests, and this is the Honorable Hamadi Baba Hamadi, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mauritania. And I think that covers all the guests that the President invited. But I should also now like to recognize our
Na mtazamaji wa TBC1, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania Dr. Jakaya Kikwete ametoka kuzungumza muda mfupi tu uliopita, na ndiye mgeni rasmi na amefungua rasmi mkutano huu wa majadiliano ya ushirikiano kwa manufaa ya wote. Na nikwambie tu alichozungumza, kwanza amewakaribisha maraisi pamoja na viongozi wengine wakuu kutoka viongozi wakuu 18 wakiwemo maraisi ambao wamehudhuria hapa pamoja na maraisi wastaafu, makamu wa raisi na washiriki wengine takriban 800 hivi wa mkutano huu. Wamewashukuru kwa kuhudhuria na kuipa heshima kubwa Tanzania ambayo inafanya kwa mara ya kwanza ama ndio mwenyeji kwa mara ya kwanza katika mkutano huu. Na miongoni mwa mambo ambayo ameyazungumzia Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania ni kuhusiana na mada kuu kabisa ya mkutano huu ama dhima kuu ya mkutano huo ambao ni nafasi ya sayansi na teknolojia katika mapinduzi ya kijamii pamoja na kiuchumi. Rais ameweza kuzungumzia mambo mengi, lakini amesema kwamba ni muhimu kukawa na vyuo pamoja na taasisi mbalimbali ambazo zitakuwa zinafundisha wataalamu mbalimbali wa mambo ya sayansi na teknolojia, ili sayansi na teknolojia iweze kukua zaidi na kusaidia katika mapinduzi ya kijamii na kiuchumi na kurahisisha zaidi huduma. Amewataja watu mbalimbali ambao wamekuwa wabunifu katika masuala mbalimbali, akimtaja mbunifu wa Max Malipo ambazo ni huduma ambazo zinatolewa za kifedha, za kusafirisha fedha kutoka sehemu moja kwenda sehemu nyingine, kutoka kwa mtu mmoja kwenda kwa mtu mwingine. Lakini vile vile amesema kwamba sayansi na teknolojia bado ni changamoto kubwa katika nchi za Afrika, na imekuwa na mtazamaji, naona hapa katika ukumbi huu wa Mwalimu Nyerere wakijiandaa kuondoka katika mkutano huu ambao utaendelea rasmi sasa hapo kesho kwa majadiliano sasa yenyewe kuendelea. Chaza ule, pengine unataka kusema kuhusiana na hili, lakini kwa kifupi tu hayo ndio ambayo rais ameyazungumza.
Nashukuru sana. Ni kwa kweli alichokizungumza rais kwa kweli mimi nimefurahishwa nacho sana, na kama mtazamaji alikuwa akifuatilia mazungumzo yetu ya awali tulivyokuwa kuzungumza na wale wageni wetu, mtaja Max Malipo kama ni mbunifu mzalendo ambaye sasa amekwenda zaidi ya Tanzania, lakini labda nishajihishe kile ambacho alikuwa akizungumza, na hasa rais ambacho alikuwa akizungumza hapa, ingawa ndio hivyo tena shughuli hii inaelekea ukingoni kwa sasa hivi, na kesho kutakuwa na mengi sana kama Bibi Smith alivyokuwa akizungumza kwa gusia ratiba ya hapo kesho. Namuona Balozi Sefue Ombeni, naona viongozi mbalimbali wanatoka, ambapo tayari Mheshimiwa Rais amekwisha toka nje. Lakini ikumbukwe muendelezo wa mjadala huu utaendelea